Have you ever been in a situation you wanted to say something neutral, objective, just the facts, but the other side got triggered by you? Today we are going to talk about the self-revelation side of the communication square. Hello and welcome to Communication Psychology. My name is Gerhard. I'm a psychologist from Hamburg, Germany, specialized in communication psychology in international, intercultural and multilingual contexts. Let's repeat the concept of the communication square invented by German professor Friedemann Schulz von Thun. Every time we send a message, whether we want it or not, the other person will receive a four-sided message, a package. And often what we intended to send doesn't correspond to the package the other person unpacks. So there is always a degree of miscommunication, of interpretation. The first side is the objective information, that what we intended to say properly. Then we have the self-revelation side, which is information about ourselves. Whether we want it or not, the other person will infer things about ourselves, our personality, our intentions, our state of mind. For example, now you may infer, without me telling this explicitly, that I'm a foreigner, probably from Germany because of the German accent. You may infer that I'm quite sleepy still. Maybe I haven't slept enough. You may infer that I must have children if I don't sleep so much. And you may ascribe to me different characteristics, whether true or not, it doesn't matter, but you automatically try to put me in different categories. Like married, not married, Christian, Muslim, what kind of personality I have, intrinsic, extrinsic, friendly, unfriendly, nervous, calm, arrogant, humble. So this is an automatic process, and it goes on in every encounter we have. And it depends on our situation. So, for example, if you're from certain parts of Scotland, or especially Northern Ireland, you probably want to check immediately, is he or she a Protestant or Catholic? And in other regions, you try to figure out other things. Are you a Donald Trump supporter or not? Do you accept man-made climate change or not? Are you pro-vaccines, anti-vaccines, and so on and so forth? So whether we want it or not, this process goes on. Now we have the third side, which is the relationship side, which has two facets. One is, what is the speaker's opinion of the other person? So, for example, if I speak very slowly and using very simple words, maybe my definition of the other person is the other person doesn't know the language well enough, or the other person is not a specialist in my topic, or maybe the other person may think I consider him or her stupid. And the second facet is the definition of our relationship. How do I, the speaker, see our relationship? Is it symmetrical? Is it complementary? Do I think I have the right to teach somebody? And the fourth is the appeal side. What do I want to get from the other person? Now, let's focus a bit on the self-relation side. We can try to manage impressions ourselves. So we can consciously and selectively include self-revelatory aspects in our conversation. For example, I started saying I'm a psychologist from Hamburg, Germany, and I gave information about my profession and my special interests in international communication and so on. And sometimes, very often, it doesn't happen explicitly. Now, there are people who are very afraid of revealing something about themselves. Now, of course, they are imposters, or people, they are on an undercover mission as police agents in the local drug scene, something like this. And then, of course, you are very aware of your self-revelation. But in general, there are people people differ in this regard. There are some people who are highly concerned, and there are people who are less concerned. And let me show you an instrument which is from 1975. It's the self-consciousness scale. And let me read some items. So the scale questionnaire has 23 questions, and they are divided into different subscales. There's 3 subscales, and one is the public consciousness subscale, which is of interest to us now. So good, and you may answer along while listening to this. So for each of the statements, indicate how much each statement is like you by using the following scale. 3, a lot like me. 2, somewhat like me. And 1, a little like me. And 0, not like me at all. Please be as honest as you can throughout, and try not to let your responses to one question influence your response to other questions. There are no right or wrong answers. Now, there are 6 questions in the public self-consciousness scale. Let's see. I'm concerned about my style of doing things. I care a lot about how I present myself to others. I'm self-conscious about the way I look. I usually worry about making a good impression. Before I leave my house, I check how I look. And I'm concerned about what other people think of me. So, there are people who very much care for how they look, so they never leave the house without looking into the mirror. Other people, I admit it, often leave the house without looking into the mirror. Or some people care more about their physical appearance. Now, once again, here it's not a right or wrong, because if we don't care at all about our public appearance, and then we would maybe not take a shower, we wouldn't care about our dress, and it will be interpreted probably as a sign of disrespect to other people. So, but on the other hand, if we are too hampered by our self-awareness, then we have stage fright, we are afraid, have social phobia, we cannot initiate conversations with strangers. Now, the negative side of this is sometimes people try to use facade techniques. That is, they somehow try to create a false good impression. Or some people have false modesty, so they try to go the opposite route. They don't try to impress with their achievements, but how humble they are, and then they give the important information like indirectly. Instead of saying, "Oh, we have a new house in Spain," then they give it as a side note. So, okay, oh yeah, we have this dripping faucet. We had the same thing in our new villa in Spain. Or with my yes, I'm also quite annoyed with this problem in our new Rolls Royce. So they try to give the impressive information as an aside, but of course they are still trying to make a good impression. Now, what do you think? Let's do a little homework. Of course, it's easier to observe other people than to observe ourselves. The ideal way would be you take a message you send somebody, for example, you go through your email and look through all the sent messages you had and try to figure out what kind of mood, personality, intention did you communicate about yourself in the last emails, even if they were very short. Or if you have video features of your interactions with people, which may not be the case, but you just think back to the last conversations you had. But the easiest thing to do is to do this with all the incoming emails and the meetings you have today. After each meeting, try to make some notes. So what can you infer about the other person? So who is he or she? Both personality, like stable traits, but also situational traits, like states, like tired, annoyed, and so on. So let's meet next week. If you have questions, please contact me and I'm happy to help. Bye-bye.